G'day Seagulls fans, welcome to Seagulls TV for another team selection video brought to you by Billy's Cakes. We hit round 15 of the VFL this week, where our old enemies Port Melbourne, who we face, and joining us to take us all through it is football manager Chris Dixon. Chris, thanks for joining us. 2 weeks ago we faced Frankston and we had a bit of a flu virus hit the side and had a number of outs. How's everyone recovered given we had a bye last week?
The bye probably came at a really good time for us. I've talked about sort of the virus that went through everyone and a few guys missed because of that, but just a few other guys, various different niggles along the way as well. So it probably came at a really good time for us. Looking at now, 6 games to go before the end of the year, so really look forward to these next 6 games, and yeah, they're all going to be pretty tough along the way, so it's good just to rest up, and everyone's in pretty good health at the moment.
Now it all starts with Port Melbourne this Saturday, who we face out at North Port Oval. Now they've lost their last 3 games. You'd be expecting a pretty fired up Borough outfit.
Yeah, certainly. I think they're a tough team to play there at the best of times, but they're going to be coming out all guns blazing. So they're actually sitting outside the 8 at the moment, so it's a really important game for them to come and stay in touch with that top 8. So we're really expecting a pretty fired up side to come up against us, and I think it just adds to all the previous clashes we know every time it's Williamstown and Port Melbourne. It's a pretty big game, but this probably adds a bit more spice to it as well, and so something we're going to have to be really aware of. But I think it's probably a good game for us after the bye, just to make sure our guys are really switched on from the get-go. We're pretty disappointed with our performance when we played Box Hill after our last bye, so hopefully that's a really good lesson for us to make sure that we're really switched on early. And I just think coming up against Port Melbourne, the old enemy, it's going to be a great one for us to make sure that the boys are on from the get-go.
We did face them in round 4 where they came back at the end to beat us by 2 points. What are your sort of memories of that day, and what areas, I guess, of improvement will we be looking at?
The wind is certainly one of the pretty strong memory of that, but look, it's a game that we were really disappointed to lose. It's a game that we didn't think we should have lost in the end, so probably gives us a chance of redemption this week, but there's certainly some lessons that we can take out of that game. I think the weather forecast isn't looking that flash on the weekend either. I think there's going to be a bit of wind around, so certainly with the conditions we'll be able to sort of use a few of those lessons that we learned from that game and hopefully come in and get a better result.
Now we'll move straight on to team selection. A bit of a milestone this week with forward Scott Clouston playing his 50th. He probably hasn't been on the park as much as we would have hoped this season, but he's certainly been a great acquisition for the club since crossing from Werribee.
Yeah, it's a great achievement for him to come across here. So look, as you said, they had a knee injury which sort of held him back in the middle part of the year, but he's this will be his 3rd game back in now, and he's really going to be the stage where he's really hitting his straps. So for us to be able to have such a real dominant key forward, who I think he was centre-half forward in the team of the year last year, we know when he's at the top of his game, he's a really tough matchup through his marking ability and also his ability to run up and down the ground and through his work rate. So it's a great achievement for him, and hopefully we can get a win for him.
And our 23rd man this week is Jake Greiser, who's battled away there in the Development League for some time, but finally gets his first crack at senior footy.
I think probably we thought, and probably Jake thought it would have come a bit early, but he's just had a horror run with nothing too major, but just a few various different niggles along the way in both years actually. It's been frustrating. You think he's sort of up and going, really pushing for senior selection, and then he's had just a little tweak to a hamstring or a broken tooth or something like that just held him back. So really talented player, Jake. 2 years ago he led the TSC Cup in clearances and contested possessions. And we've seen at development level, obviously he played in the grand final last year in the premiership side. So really beast of an inside midfielder, big body. He also got the ability to sort of play forward as well. And we think the conditions are really going to suit him on the weekend. So it's fantastic to see him get in. Previous Western Jets player, so once again great to see those boys coming through as well. And looking forward to seeing him out there. I know he's going to be pretty excited about it.
And another key inclusion to the squad at this stage is Jake Owen. He's someone the Seagulls fans certainly hope to be seeing out there in the senior side soon. Yeah,
he's an immense talent. It's I think we've all had a bit of a reminder of just how good he is in the last 2 games when he's played at development level. So everyone will remember his form last year where he came as a first-year kid and was well and truly on the draft radar. So really unfortunate injury in the pre-season to right through his elbow tendons, but for him to come back, and it's just going to give us a bit of a boost towards the end of the year. So it's really exciting to see him back in the side, and I think everyone's got those memories of last year of those big games he played and just the things he can do on a footy field that a lot of people can't. So it's great to have him back in the team.
Well, that'll do us for this week's team selection video. We've got Port Melbourne out there at North Port Oval on Saturday. The development starts at 9 o'clock with the seniors to kick off at 12:12, meaning of course that it's a Channel 7 game. So we'd love for you to come along, but if you can't, tune in to Channel 7 and watch us hopefully defeat Port Melbourne.
Sounds like a plan.